The following content has been generated with artificial intelligence under minimal human supervision. The data presented may contain errors or inaccuracies. The opinions expressed in this content do not necessarily reflect the vision, position, or values of Digi-all. We recommend verifying critical information with additional sources before making decisions based on this content.
Welcome to Digi-all Tech News. Today is December 3rd, 2025. I'm Kylie Brooks, and this is where technology becomes clear and engaging. We've got some fascinating stories today that really show how AI is shaking up everything from corporate balance sheets to career choices. Let's dive in. IBM's CEO says there's no way big tech's trillion-dollar AI data center binge is going to pay off at today's costs. Young workers in Britain are ditching white-collar career paths and heading straight for the trades, betting that plumbers won't be replaced by AI anytime soon. Journalists see AI as a threat to their industry, but they're using it daily anyway. Security researchers in Singapore discovered that your dashcam can be hijacked in seconds and turned into a surveillance weapon. And Google's Gemini AI is making some bold predictions about where XRP, Dogecoin, and Shiba Inu will be by the end of the year. Let's start with IBM. CEO Arvind Krishna went on the Decoder podcast yesterday and did what he called napkin math on the AI data center gold rush. And honestly, the numbers are kind of terrifying. Building just 1 gigawatt data center costs about $80 billion. If a company wants 20 to 30 gigawatts, that's $1.5 trillion in capital expenditure. Industry-wide, we're talking about 100 gigawatts worth of announcements, which translates to $8 trillion. To cover just the 10% interest on that, companies would need $800 billion in annual profits. Krishna's response? No way that's happening. And here's the kicker. AI chips depreciate so fast you have to replace them every 5 years. So this isn't a one-time cost, it's a recurring nightmare. Krishna joins a growing chorus of skeptics like Salesforce's Mark Benioff, who calls the AGI chase extremely suspect, and even OpenAI co-founder Ilya Sutskever, who recently admitted that scaling large language models has limits. But Sam Altman at OpenAI, he's still pushing for 100 gigawatts annually, and 1.4 trillion in commitments. Someone's going to be very right or very wrong here. Meanwhile in Britain, young workers are voting with their feet, and they're walking straight into trade schools. 18-year-old Marina Yaroshenko is training to be a plumber at City of Westminster College in London. Her reasoning? That's something AI won't take over. And she's not wrong. No AI can do plumbing, no AI can do real engineering, no AI can be an electrician. White-collar jobs? Those are looking a lot more vulnerable. A November survey found that 1 in 6 British employers plans to cut jobs due to AI within the next year. Enrollment in hands-on courses is surging, up almost 10% in engineering and construction programs over 3 years. An August poll found that half of adults are concerned about AI's employment effects, especially people aged 25 to 35. And here's the economic reality. Plumbers in the UK average nearly £38,000 annually, which beats a lot of graduate salaries. University undergraduate enrollment actually dropped for the first time in nearly a decade. The message is clear. Learn a skill that requires human hands, and you'll have job security. Now let's talk about journalists, because this one hits close to home for a lot of us in media. The Reuters Institute at Oxford surveyed UK journalists and found something fascinating. 56% use AI weekly for work, including 27% who use it daily. Only 16% never touch it. They're using it for transcription, translation, grammar checking, story research, idea generation, even generating parts of text. But here's the tension. 62% view AI as a large threat to journalism. Only 15% see it as a large opportunity. So journalists are using the very tool they think might destroy their profession. The ethical concerns are high too, especially around public trust, accuracy, and originality. And here's something interesting. The people who use AI daily are actually less satisfied with how much time they spend on complex investigative work. The journalists who don't use AI at all, they're the most satisfied. That tells you something about what we might be trading away. Switching gears to security, researchers in Singapore just revealed at the Security Analyst Summit that dashcams are shockingly easy to hijack. We're talking seconds, not hours. They examined 24 models from about 15 brands and found that most have Wi-Fi for pairing with mobile apps, which creates a huge attack surface. The problems? Hard-coded default passwords, similar hardware architectures, and attackers can bypass security by spoofing the owner's smartphone MAC address or capturing legitimate Wi-Fi exchanges. But the really scary part is this. They created worm-like code that lets infected dashcams automatically attack other nearby dashcams in traffic. In urban environments, about 25% of dashcams could be compromised with a single malicious payload. Once compromised, attackers get access to high-resolution video, audio recordings, and precise GPS data. They can track your movements, monitor conversations, identify passengers, even use AI to transcribe audio and extract text from road signs. Your dashcam, which you bought for protection, becomes a surveillance weapon. The advice? Disable Wi-Fi when you're not using it, change default passwords, and update firmware regularly. And finally, because we can't resist a crypto story, Google's Gemini AI has been making predictions about where XRP, Dogecoin, and Shiba Inu might be by the end of December. The broader market is in retracement after Bitcoin sold off down to 82,000, but long-term sentiment is still positive. For XRP at $2.05, Gemini predicts either a bearish drop to $1.80, that's a 12% decline, or a bullish rise to $5 if SEC-approved spot XRP ETFs bring in major inflows. Dogecoin at about 14 cents could fall 28% to 10 cents in a worst-case scenario, or rally to a new all-time high of 85 cents, which would be 6 times returns. And Shiba Inu at 0.000081 might drift sideways or surge up to 12 times its current value if it breaks key resistance levels. Take all of this with a grain of salt, of course. It's an AI making predictions about notoriously volatile assets, but it's interesting to see how AI is now being used to forecast markets that didn't even exist a decade ago. So what are we seeing here? A pattern, really. AI is forcing everyone to recalculate. CEOs are running the numbers and questioning the hype. Young workers are choosing career paths based on what AI can't do. Journalists are caught between using AI to stay competitive and worrying about their future. Security researchers are finding vulnerabilities in everyday devices. And AI is even predicting its own impact on speculative markets. The common thread? Uncertainty. No one really knows how this all plays out. We'll keep following these stories as they develop. Thank you for staying informed with Digi-all Tech news. We'll be back with more updates as they develop.